Alright, so we are back for another top 10 Dokkan Festival TUR EZA tier list. That, again, is always a mouthful to do. But, we just got the INT Gotenks Extreme Z Awakening on the JP version of the game. Now, a lot of us are expecting a Super EZA for the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Probably next week. Again, there's either a part 2 LR next week or, like, I think that it's possible it could be Rose Goku Black. But it's either a part 2 LR or Rose Goku Black, in which we're going to get a new EZA TUR, whether it's a Super EZA or Kefla, right? If not, then Rose Goku Black's probably like the second half of June or something. We'll see. We'll see how things go like that, right? But I think looking into it based on that, I think next week will be more so an LR rather than Rose Goku Black. So in that situation, we could very well see Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Super EZA, which I'll make another update to this tier list, but we don't know for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure we get Gotenks his own video, you know, his own rep. I think Gotenks is a pretty good character. He obviously is on the list, or else I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess I couldn't make a video without him being on the list, but he is on the list for sure. So again, there are a couple of well, not even a couple, there's so many EZAs to choose from here, I think, but you know, some of them I feel like stand out compared to the others, of course. So we're gonna start off at number 10. STR Super Buu is our number 10 spot. I think this guy got a little bit of a glow up during the 9th anniversary with, like, you know, the Beast Gohan fight. This guy's actually pretty decent in, but more so, like, again, fights used to usually last for, let's say, like 3-4 turns or so, like that Fusion Zamasu meta. And that Super Buu did not have any room to breathe. But now, Super Buu, you know, there's plenty of time to transform into Buu Ultimate Gohan, Buu Piccolo. And those forms are actually decently, like, they've aged decently, right? For sure. I think, you know, Buu Ultimate Gohan and Buu Piccolo have aged pretty nicely overall. I got used to them in, like, the Beast Gohan fight. You could probably get used to them. Maybe not the Trunks fight, because the first phase is AGL, but, you could probably get away with this guy in Vegeta, even. More so Buu Ultimate Gohan and Buu Piccolo. Buu Piccolo, maybe not. But Buu Ultimate Gohan, you could, I think, definitely get, like, as a floater for this guy, for sure. So he's decent. I'm not going to say he's crazy, but he's a decently aged option. And if we compare him to other characters, you know, that could have made the list. Maybe MVP 17. He's just kind of inconsistent. If you're not under that HP threshold, even under that HP threshold, this guy could still take, like, if he gets hit with the super, he's done, right? But, like, I think, you know, the guard ability with this guy, he's able to live a lot of these supers still. I don't know, just, like, you know, the fact that there's a lot more STR bosses now too kind of hurt this guy a little. Physical Piccolo, his base form is just way too weak. I think transformed Physical Piccolo, you know, there's a huge argument for him, like, being even, like, a little, like, decently high on the list, I guess, but the base form of Physical Piccolo is not that great. I mean, would I say STR Blue Falcon Goku deserves to be here? I guess. I mean, you know, that's a character I don't really think about too much. I feel like STR Blue Falcon Goku, it's just that he's a little weak, right? You know, but he has a Spirit Bomb and he links really well. Actually, should I put him here at 10? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll look at the list again and I'll decide. But in our next spot, we have Physical Super Vegito. Physical Super Vegito, pretty good character in terms of tanking normals, right? Obviously. But in terms of doing damage, in terms of everything else, she's not really going to be that great. But I think compared to, like, so many of these other characters on the list, it's like, he's like, I guess, again, Blue Falcon Goku's, like, the only one. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I forgot about him. I'll be real, I wasn't thinking about him. But I think, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, he gets hit too hard now. Like, and I feel like Buu has more options of survivability. I think Physical Super Vegito, like, the being able to just tank normals very comfortably is so important now, because these normals are hitting for how hard super attacks have been hitting for in the past, right? At this point with the toughest bosses. So even though this guy is, again, physical, him being able to just always eat normal attacks, I think, is actually so huge. And this guy might not even be taken off like 8, 9, 10 on this tier list spot for a while. just because like he's always able to eat the normal attacks. Like I just can't see myself taking him off there until he starts taking damage from these normals, really. It does take a little bit to build him up, but it's not too bad, right? And another thing is that we got STR Super Vegito, which does help this guy in the sense that, you know, if you're using these guys similarly, I guess this guy would have access to a scouter, but if he does get with the super attack, he does die. So that's the only thing that you do also want to consider, which is obviously is going to be his big weakness. But I feel like every character that, like most characters around this tier, Vegito, can die to supers, but they also take damage to normals. But this guy does not. So that's the difference, I think, in my opinion. That's why he's there. Again, same with Blue Falcon Goku. It's like he can't even take normal sometimes, and then he dies to supers. But this guy has the huge offensive potential. But I'm not really like, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm the offense guy like that. You know, you guys already know. So that's physical Vegito there. Next we have physical Beerus. Again, physical Beerus is a character where there are still some Rumble God enemies that are tough. But there's a lot of new characters that aren't Realm of God's enemies. But keep in mind, he only needs Realm of God's enemies for the keys for changing, right? If you're able to have a rainbow keys for changer around him, he does not even need the Realm of God's enemies. Excuse me. And there's been a lot of rainbow keys for changers. Along with that, this guy only really needs the extra 30% reduction before attacking. If you're either putting him in slot 1 or if there's AoEs, and there's not really as many AoEs anymore. This guy's not at the point where you're going to be running him in slot 1 either, unless you have like a hyper focused build with him, which in a sense you could say that technically may make him a little weaker because he's going to get less attack. But defensively, with the 40% reduction, with all this like defense you can get multiplicative wise, you could also debuff, which I think is very useful. Like being able to debuff these bosses is pretty good. This guy is still a decent character. And then if you do get the active skill up, again, he could do some pretty massive damage, and his defense still gets pretty, like, good. Even, like, this first attack, you have to take it. But, like, he'll, like, imagine him slot 170% reduction, and then he's at, like, still, like, 800k defense or so. Like, that's huge. Like, this Beerus can get really high defensively, and especially because there's, again, so many extra, like, Rainbow Orb Changers, support options, things like that I think have been introduced around this guy. I know Global has in battles, right? So that's a thing that I do want to think about. And again, it's like Fusion Zamasu is pretty difficult still. We have the physical Beerus fight, which to be fair, in the physical Beerus fight, he does change your orbs, which kind of sucks for this guy a little bit. Besides that, though, there's not really another hard Realm of God's enemy besides Blue Gogeta, which this guy would be type disadvantage at the end, but you could probably still get away with this guy in Blue Gogeta. Like, you can get away with him, but kind of, it's more like he gets touched at the end and he dies, to be fair. I don't know. But that's that with the physical Beerus right there. But he does greatly lower attack. Again, which is pretty huge for that fight. Being able to like greatly lower attack is pretty good. Maybe if you can get your active skill up in that phase of the fight, would he be okay? I think so. I feel like because that fight hits so hard, but he'll have the 40% reduction. That first hit will just probably be the issue. That's really it. But that's just hypothetical there. Most of these characters in this like situation would just be in mega trouble against that final phase, right? Next we have EZA Bardock. He sucks. I mean, yeah. So I didn't put physical Beerus in there yet. You know, I should not spend too much time on these like lower ranks because I want to get to like Gotenks and stuff like that. That's important. So let me find physical Beerus here. We're gonna skip through these next few a little quicker just because again, in my last tier list I did talk about them, but I do still want to touch on them just a little bit just so you guys can know why I placed them there. Where's AGL Bardock? And this guy, just his base form's too weak, but he's AGL, so he has like an advantage inherently because of that. But it's really his base form's just super very weak. Super Saiyan Bardock could cook, like he has cooking with him. 48% chance dodge, right? Could do some decent damage actually. His damage is not really too bad at all. Like he's a Saiyan character, say Saiyan Links. I think he has like some nice stuff to him, but again, it's just base Bardock sucks. Base Bardock is like, I would rather run physical Super Vegito than base Bardock, right? Base Bardock is just really bad. His defense is like 230k after supering on the first turn. He has no multiplicative defense. Like, why is there not defense here? Attack defense 50% when attacking. Honestly, it should be, yeah, it should just be attacking defense 50% when attacking. And this should have been changed to pure Saiyans. Because, like, all the low-class warriors characters are pure Saiyans. Like, they're all pure Saiyans. Every single one of them. Just make it pure Saiyans. Just like, I know it's all quirky and funny, haha. But, like, make it pure Saiyans, dude. I don't get it. Because they're all pure Saiyans. None of them are not pure Saiyans, right? So, I don't know. I guess, you know, if in the future, even if there's like an exchange character, it's like they'll be on the pure Saiyans team still. So, I couldn't tell you. So, yeah, that sucks. That sucks. If it was pure Saiyans, dude, right here, that would be really good. And maybe they could have kept this as low class warrior. I don't really care. But this should have been like at least pure Saiyans. I think that would make this get tons better. But yeah, Super Saiyan Bardock, I'm not going crazy over him either, but he could put in some work at least, right? So the dodge chance, being able to just dodge the supers with a 40% chance, I'll take that, right? At the bare minimum, decent damage. That probably is enough for me to put him above Beerus there, so that's why he's there. Next map, in Future Gohan. In Future Gohan still could cook, right? Once you transform him especially. But he's not going to be anything crazy either. I mean, I feel like base Future Gohan is better than Bardock, but I feel like Super Saiyan Bardock is a little better than Super Saiyan Gohan at this point. But I probably overall would put Gohan a little above him. It's not really even that far. And that's crazy because, like, I don't know, Future Gohan's probably, like, decently better once you have the full bottom mass and Cyper rotation, but Trunks is not as good as he once was, right? You know, Trunks characters. And this guy only have the reduction when he's under 50%, 70% HP. Could be an issue as well. He has a 50% support though. He does decent damage, I guess, right? You know, with the additional super attacks here, but like you're not really going to be facing as much androids or Future Saga enemies anymore. Again, we're not in the Worldwide Celebration meta, so that's that. He could work. He could cook still in some events, but he's not crazy anymore. Same with the next spot, AGL Zamasu. I think he cooks a little better now than Future Gohan. Partially because he's AGL as well. I mean, again, the typings do matter a little with this character being AGL with all these S tier bosses around, like Vegeta, right? I think is a big thing. I think this guy works better in the Beast Gohan fight, for example. We have the S tier Beast Gohan fight, which is pretty tough. I think, again, this guy's base form is too weak, right? But this normal Fusion Zamasu, he can look pretty nice. Tech Fusion Zamasu's pretty good still as well, so that's a really good partner for this guy. Like, I think Tech Fusion Zamasu aged like astronomically better than like that Sword of Hope Trunks, right? Post 9th anniversary. That's a huge thing I do also want to consider when it comes to that, right? This guy still having his really good linking partner, really good. So yeah, AGL Zamasu is aged pretty decently well again. Mutation form, don't really use it, but I think you could use it at the end of the fights, right? I guess, you know, again, a little debuff for Gogeta, sure. I like him. I think he's aged pretty decently well. Alright, next we have STR Super Vegeta there. So, STR Super Vegeta, I feel like they could have made this guy's EZA a little better. But he is still obviously a pretty good EZA compared to more so the rest of the game. I think that people undervalue this guy a little bit, honestly, like based on what I'm overall seeing. I think people make it seem like this guy is like mediocre even. And I don't agree. I think this guy is still good. For sure, right? Even though it's only the first 5 turns for the guard, there are a lot of fights that can be done within that five turns, right? Again, the issue with this guy in Beast Gohan, not Beast Gohan, sorry. This guy in the Gogeta fight, like, is where he really struggles. But 5 turns is not too bad, because again, you have the 5 turns. Then, again, he doesn't come back until turn 7 or turn 8 if you float him off. But by that point, the fight's already over, right? Except for Blue Gogeta. I think that's the only fight really that lasts like 10 turns, because that's a 5-phase fight, while all these other fights are like 3 phases, or maybe 4 phases, right? In which case, 4 phase, I think you could also have trouble with this guy. But honestly, I think he's good, right? For the first few turns, for sure. This could be a little troublesome to get if you want that full offensive boost, but it's not really that big of a deal. I do want to say I don't like this, though. I think this kind of sucks, right? This guy could be decent in some max, I guess, right? But like by the time you turn 7, it's like this guy's already debuffed and stunned and sealed. So like this, well, more so debuffed like offensively and sealed. So it's like the stun won't really do anything. I don't know. I think they could have made this guy like have some more special thing to him. I think he's not. He needs like 1 or 2 more things besides the cell requirement, I think, to really push him like as, oh, he's crazy good. But right now he's just like a good EZA character. Next we have EGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, I talked about this guy primarily last time with the S-tier Super Vegeta. I do like him better than S-tier Super Vegeta. How do I explain it? I just think he has probably just better performance, right? And he's not as turn restricted as S-tier Vegeta. Again, he has still this 5-turn thing right here, but I think this guy is like, he's very more straightforward than Vegeta, if that makes sense. Like, this guy doesn't have to be random style 1. He could be random style 1, doesn't have to. He could be very flexible, I think, throughout the fight. And I like his guaranteed career for the first few turns. He provides a little support buff, right? He's like a very interesting designed character. I think both him and Vegeta were also designed with like the AoE Fusion Zamasu fight in mind, like for global even, which is interesting because this guy has a dodge before he attacks. Vegeta, you know, it's like you set him in slot 2 in Fusion Zamasu, that he gets hit with the AoE and he just does mega damage, right? That's one thing to consider too. But he would lose this here, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world, because he still could get this, which is the bigger buff for the 7 turns. So I think 7 turns is really where this guy is able to still look pretty nice. Really sucks that there's no super attack effect added here, but it is what it is at this point. Decent character. I like him. Alright, here's Gotenks, right? Finally, we get to Gotenks here. So, we're gonna put Gotenks, and then Kefla's first. I think I saw people talking about, oh, I kind of like Gotenks better than Kefla, and it's like, I don't really agree. So, again, Gotenks, he's really good. Very, very powerful guy. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is just stupid crazy, right? This guy is able to do like triple 15, triple 16 mil attack stats. The first turn he's guaranteed critting. He has 70% dodge chance. He's getting like over mil defense. He can get a separate 20% chance dodge, right? Pretty good character. I think Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is really, really powerful. And, you know, he has this, again, great stack for the 4 turns. 70% chance stun could be useful. And like, you know, let's say, by the time you get this guy in turn 7, like, let's say, again, Cell Max, or you have the great chance to stun, you're probably going to stun him with his guaranteed double super right here. Just launches a guaranteed additional super attack. Really good. Awesome. Amazing. I like this Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. It does take some time to get to him, though. You have Gotenks Space 4, and then the 3rd turn, you transform into Super Saiyan Gotenks. Then 4 turns after that, you transform into Super Saiyan 3. The strat with this guy is probably, again, I mean, I guess you can keep him on rotation once, then float him off, then transform into Super Saiyan 3 when he comes back, or you could just float this guy off infinitely, right? Either one works, right? But then if you keep floating this guy off, you'll probably get this guy on turn 8 rather than turn 7, right? Now, base form Gotenks, decent character. I think he works for these sort of fights for sure. You only see him once. I'll take it. He's nothing crazy though, right? He's decent. I think this should have been 4 turns anyways, because like if you float this guy off, he's gonna lose this. So it's like they really incentivize you to wanting to keep this base form on rotation. Then again, they gave this guy the 4 turns because you float him off, right? Because he transfers with the 4th turn, so a lot of people are going to float this guy. Well, I guess they only gave him the 3 turns since he transformed on the 3rd turn, right? It would have been nice if that was 4 turns, but not the big steal. The Super Saiyan Gotenks, again, also I think he's like, there's a point where he's like a good EZA. Like, I would probably take this Super Saiyan Gotenks over S tier Super Vegeta, for example, right? That's what I would say, right? Even just this Super Saiyan Gotenks. High chance to dodge, separate 20% chance to dodge. You could even recover your HP, which is, I think, interesting. This is definitely in mind because he has to be above 70% HP to get the active skill transformation. Now, this is from the 4th turn, right? And then this is 4th turn after transformation. So what I believe is, no matter what, in the 4th turn of the battle, this guy's able to recover the HP. So he's able to do it on multiple turns, right, before he goes Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, which I think is cool. Again, the separate 20% chance dodge is still there, which is nice, right? 70% chance to do an additional super. He has some crit chance here. So you get like triple super. I've seen him like do triple like 11, 12 mil attack stat range. He has the built-in crit chance. You know, in some fights he gets stun. Gets decent defenses, probably like 800k range, right? Which is nothing crazy, but he has the dodge chance in him. Again, Super Saiyan Gotenks, I like him. I think he's decent, right? You know, but it's like these two are decent, I think, for sure. Nothing crazy, but they're like decent here. And the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is where he goes crazy. And I think especially like the overall power up to Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is, I would say there's like probably a gap here, even after Super Saiyan 3 Goku. There's probably a little bit of a gap there. Kefla, I would say I like her base form better though, even though she has the orb restrictions. I just feel she's gonna end up being more consistent because even if you meet the orb restrictions, you get the stuff, right? This Gotenks has the high chance to dodge himself without the restriction, but Kefla is going to be better, you know, in just terms of raw defense. She's going to do just some more damage as well. Super Saiyan Kefla especially, it's just, she's already super explosive with the damage she does. And 6 key spheres is not really too bad to get on her setups from what I've seen. Again, I've used her once, and this is just my views of like seeing global players use the Super Saiyan Kefla, but the 6 orbs requirements is not bad. And when she, like, well, even on global, Kaba is coming out in like a day or two, right? Yeah, Kaba comes out like on the 12th, doesn't he not? So STR Kaba's EZA and STR hits EZA with this Kefla is gonna go absolutely insane, right? It's gonna go crazy. So that's a huge thing. This Kefla getting STR Kaba with his 60% support and the STR orb changing, and you have Vidal, not Vidal, Vados on the team, good orb change as well. You know, that's gonna be really good. And even on some of these other teams like Super Bosses, I guess you have Rose, that could Rainbow Orb change, right? Topo could Rainbow Orb change. You know, on the the Turner Apprenticements team, we get Topo, of course. The androids also Rainbow Orb changes. There's a lot of orb changes for this Kefla that's around her. Again, like I told you, there's been a lot of orb changes. This is why I talked about Beerus earlier. And then Super Saiyan 2 Kefla is like easily like, sorry, Super Saiyan 2, I can't speak. Super Saiyan 2 Kefla is just better than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, like straight up, I would say. Because like, again, he has a separate 20%, but if this was like, if this made the 70%, 90%, then I think we'll be a little more talking, but that is a separate 20% chance dodge, right? Unfortunately, it's not 90%. It is a 70%. Then if that doesn't work, you have this 20% after the fact, right? Then you have the hidden potential, right? It's how that should work, unfortunately, because this is activated during the attacking phase, whereas this is start of turn. Just like how this attack 300% and this 100% attack when performing with super are separate, which make it bigger in terms of the damage. This is also separate, which doesn't add it together, which I guess in a sense makes it less than what it would be, right? But no, Kefla is stupid. Like 7% chance dodge, doing triple supers. Yeah, Noxie, it's quad supers, my bad. With the 6 orbs, she does 4 supers. And then she's hitting so hard. It's just, yeah, she's dumb. She's dumb. Kefla's dumb. Super Saiyan 2 Kefla's dumb. But there it is. That's my tier list. Again, Gotenks looks very good, again, in all these difficult content stages. I think he can cook super well. One of my issues with Gotenks as well, I want to say before I wrap up, is links. I think, you know, again, this guy's links changed a lot. Like, you can see Signature Pose, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, then he gets Super Saiyan Golden Warrior, you know, then after this he gets over in a flash, limit breaking form, and then like these top links do change quite a bit, and it's like, you know, like saying lineage, the over in a flash, like weird, you know. But I think it's not that big of a deal. If you have Fuse Fighter like active the whole time, like with the physical Gogeta Blue, you're fine. But that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think, and of course I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.